Howdy lads and gents, Captain Blackbread here, and you remember that time I said I was going to stay away from these, and I wasn't going to read them on this channel at least, or that it seemed like I was laughing at little kids? Well, I'm back at it again, and you know what? I think we're all better for it, because this was the thing that I do. This was my flagship series, and that doesn't mean I'm not doing music or anything. Please just be happy that I'm uploading. I'm happy that I'm uploading. This is his Butler, Simply Irresistible, the rest of it, which is basically just chapter 8. This is going to be really quick, I think. Although I could read the poem from Unclear, because chapter 7 just says unclear. It's not, we got chapter 1, 2, chapter 2, right? They're all called that up to chapter 8, except for 7, which is just called unclear. So let's go ahead and get on with it. I'm going to go ahead and read this poem from quote-unquote Unclear. Day after day I was wandering after my desire for pleasure. Every day tediously tedious. Taking my fill more than yesterday. Don't let me hope for tomorrow. Yes, let me hear your wailing cry. Oh! Ravenously consuming, messily slurping fishy smelling souls, with the elegance of desire, deceiving with sweet words, the years passing slowly, contracts with pure little girls. Please don't clip that. All the souls constantly collecting in the black heart, which I do not have. I do not have a black heart. There is no heart. There is a heart. There is a heart-shaped hole where there should be a heart, which would also be black, if I had one. I'd like to let you know that tangent was not actually part of the poem. All the souls constantly collecting in the black heart, which I do not have. It's an extra edge. There were no impulses which disturbed me, nor was there anything that quenched the thirst deep inside me. There was nothing that reached me. I didn't sleep. I didn't get tired. And I didn't stand still. Every day was so tedious I got fed up with it. I ended up thinking, to what length is it okay for me to still live on? And so I went. Insane. You, who I made a contract with on a whim, hating to lose because of your pride. Very cute and as impulsive as a cat, which is... Cat's impulsive? Forget it. Isn't it whimsical to become an imitation of a butler for the master of a household who is incompetent and fragile child? Oh, I read that wrong. There is an and in there, and I neglected to add it. To grow white roses for his sake, to make sweets for his sake, to think about what clothes you will wear tomorrow, with which ribbon. I've begun to think that a wonderful everyday like that isn't so bad. It seems like the life of a fragile, evanescent human would crumble the second you wanted to look away from them. I have started to see the value in the fact that I don't need to sleep. I can keep looking at you forever. It's odd, isn't it? It's odd. If only you knew I am thinking about such things. The growth of humans. Isn't it too fast? I can feel him on my cheek. He is warm. I can feel him on my cheek. He is warm. His body temperature is different from mine. I had to change the tone. If you guys... no, you don't. There's no way. Look, just search up The Onion, Michael Falk. And that's what that reminds me of. You won't regret it. What kind of face will I make when I part with you for the last time? And then the end just says, the feels in all caps, with a little sad face, which I'll take a little picture of and show you guys. Signed, Scratch Kitty. Anyway, now we have chapter 8, which is actually quite short, so it's probably a good thing I read that last thing there. Alright, chapter 8. Don't you dare treat me like a child. Very well, Bob-chan. Once again, his young master said this, Sebastian smirked deviously and scooped Ciel from the couch, holding him to his chest. The demon dashed to his room and laid his master upon his bed. I apologize that we are using my humble servant's bed, Bukshan, but it seems that your room was much too far away to be bothered with. Ciel lay panting on the cot, body trembling in earnest for more pleasure. I don't care, Ciel moaned, reaching out to his butler. Just finish the job, you damn demon. I'm sick of what... Sebastian suddenly lunged forward and pinched Ciel while he slipped a few of his fingers in his mouth. My, are you getting impatient merely because I'm slowing down at your pace? The young earl shuddered as the demon grabbed his delicate tongue. You ought to be more polite, I think. Look at you, a weak little human such as yourself. Sebastian used his other hand to trail down his master's slender body. Are you sure you want to be treating a demon with such discourtesy? Ciel managed to free one of his hands from Sebastian's grasp and used it to slap away the hand, keeping him quiet. I am the master of you, dog. As long as I hold the contract, there is no denying that. Not ever. Now do as I command and finish the job. A sharp intake of breath was heard, as this reply has surprised the demon. A short silence of shock followed, but was broken by the demon's smirk. Of course, my lord. The candles illuminating the room suddenly blew out, leaving the two locked in heat, writhing bodies in darkness. Long moans of pleasure could be heard, as well as shuddering and gasps, and I didn't feel like writing the sex scene, so this is how I ended Chapter 8, and yeah, pretty much that's what happened. We had a lot of details before, but it seems that the writer has gotten bored of doing such things. And I'd say it's kind of a shame because those are some of the best parts to read in general, because whether it's not being able to keep a straight face or them not being able to spell, that's what gets me. Ciel felt a hot mouth envelope his throat. Oh, no, here we go. Ciel felt a hot mouth envelop his throbbing member and cried out in ecstasy. The pleasure now came from many unnamed, mysterious sources, and there was no telling how many times he felt himself come at the hands of his butler, or how many times a sensitive spot was manipulated to feel the utmost pleasure. Bodies rubbed together as if under some type of hot spell, and the night seemed to last forever until Ciel finally gave in. He shut his eyes closed. Oh, that's redundant. Still trembling. Oh, okay. Looks like the author does acknowledge this. I know, it's short, but I seriously wrote myself into a corner there. And Scratch Kitty never wrote another chapter ever again. This is the end of his Butler Simply Irresistible, and I would like to thank you guys for joining, and thank you for the few of you that are still here checking out the videos. I do appreciate that, and I'm going to go ahead and chill out the Issue Crew. The Issue Crew is a podcast similar to another podcast. We talk about issues. That's really it. It's totally not a biggest problem in the universe clone, and you can catch the Issue Crew on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube if you're interested in such a thing. That is where you can hear me. We're an edgy show, so be ready for that. If you can't handle that, that's fine. Go check out something else. That being said, hey, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I feel like I really put a lot into the performance on this for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why, but maybe it's because I'm alone. It's kind of like the Fox X Wolf one I did, but I'm rambling on at this point. So once again, thank you guys for listening, and I've got to go find the music that's going to go behind this since I've started doing that again. And speaking of doing things again, I do want to start uploading again, so keep an eye out for that. This has been his Butler Simply Irresistible in its entirety, so now I can finally put this out, and then I'll put out the supercut of all 4 parts. And I'd also like to thank, on Instagram, you can follow her, Riko-chan_cosplay. So Riko-chan cosplay. And you can imagine she does a lot of cosplaying, and she's quite good. And I actually met her at SakuraCon, I want to say a few years ago now, just by chance. That my fiance had just kind of waved at her and was like, hello, hi, and then they were just going hi, back and forth, and then she just kind of showed up to the table, and somewhere between there, we organized a story reading, and it was a few chapters of this. So if you guys haven't seen that, that is part 3 of his Butler Simply Irresistible. This ending is so much longer than I thought it was going to be. Well, you know what? I'll catch y'all later.
My only friend is the goat with 666 between his arms.